Hello and welcome, it's Gail here today with another scrapbooking process video for you for Blvd. This week the design team was challenged to use the clear cuts on a project. So I'm excited to share with you today what I've come up with. I did a little preparation before I started filming, and what I've done is I've cut up like a pie chart heart out of white cardstock. And what I want to do is to back each of those little pie sections with one of the clear cuts patterns, just for something a bit different. I like the fact that you can see the white behind them, so it just makes it a little bit brighter. So first off, I'm going through all of the 6x8 clear cuts pads and pulling out any of the colours and patterns that I think are going to match my project. I've used patterns from a few different collections, mainly the Illustrated Faith Delight in His Day collection and the Illustrated Faith Basics collection as well. The next thing I'm going to do is just go through each of those patterns and trim them down according to which section I want them to cover. This is really easy because they're clear. I'm just holding it in place while I use my scissors to trim. No measuring, no drawing, anything like that. And it's good that you only need little sections because you can just choose which part of the clear cuts design is going to work best for you. So that one had a quote on it. I didn't want to use the quote, I just wanted that sort of cloudy blue colour. So I continued to do this for all of the patterns until I had one for each of the little pie sections there. And I just wanted to remind all you guys that the clear cuts do have like a clear protective film on them, so make sure you peel that off before you adhere it to your project. Next I'm going to grab a liquid adhesive, and one with a really fine tip works well for this, and just run a little bit of glue around each section and adhere the clear cuts to it. Super quick and easy. Oh, I got the wrong piece there. Now my glue's coming to the end, so it was quite hard to squeeze it out for that last piece. And then what I did was I just popped a scratch sheet of paper over the top and a few of the clear cuts pads, just to rest something heavy on it to make sure the adhesive dries and everything's dried in the right spot. And while that's drying, I am going to work on my background. So I've cut down my white cardstock background to 11.5 by 11.5 inches, and I do want a pattern paper border around my white cardstock. So I'm just going to audition a few sheets of pattern paper that I've pulled out from a few collections. There's a few of them that I like the look of, but I did end up deciding to go with the black and white pattern there, and that one's actually from the Popsicles and Pandas collection. Next I'm going to turn my attention to my photo. So I'm going to give it a mat of white cardstock, and then I want to add a couple of layers of pattern paper behind it. And I've pulled those sheets of pattern paper from the 6x8 paper pads. That's probably my favourite thing to do with the paper pads, is to use them as layers behind my photo. I'm just a bit undecided here. Something sort of seems a bit out of balance to me, and I can't quite decide what to do, hence the tapping of the fingers there. So because I'm not decided with what to do with my photo, etc., I'm just going to work on the background a little bit more. So I'll adhere my white cardstock down to the pattern paper, and I've just added a row of machine stitching around the outside. And now I'm going to add some flicks of mist to just add a bit of interest to the background. I'm going to use two colours of mist, both yellow. One's a brighter yellow, one's a bit more of a mustard yellow. I just like the variation it gives me. Some big drops and some little drops, just to add interest. And once that's done, here I am again, tapping my fingers, trying to decide what's going on. I ended up printing out another copy of the photo, and instead of 6x4, I've done it in 3x4, and I kind of think I like the smaller size better. I think it was just a bit out of balance with the big photo and then the big heart. I don't know. It just didn't look right to me. I added plenty of double-sided tape to the back of my heart, and I'll just adhere that down to the background as well. Now I've grabbed the die-cut paper pieces from the Delight in His Day collection, and I put them on a little bowl on my desk, and that's what I like to dig through when I'm creating a project. So I've just pulled out a few pieces that I think might match, and I'll just have a little play with them. So here I've basically decided that I am going to work with the 3x4 photo. So I'll just arrange my die cuts around the layout. I just love the bright bold colours in that collection. It might be kind of hard to tell, but two of my children are actually dressed up as the Mad Hatter and Alice in Wonderland. They had a bit of a dress-up day at home and were having lots of fun. So I couldn't resist adding that flamingo to the layout, just as a little bit of a nod to Alice in Wonderland, I think. So now I've been through all the die cuts. Now I'm having a look at the fundamental sticker sheets, again to see if there's anything on there that's going to suit my layout. I end up adding some foam dots to a couple of words to pop near my photo. They say believe and remember. And now it's time to start adhering down my photo and all my accents and embellishments, because I'm pretty decided on where everything's going to be going at this stage. Gosh, that flamingo is so cute. So some things I add with pop dots, some things I just use tape runner. I like to vary the dimension and textures on the layout. Now for my title, I wanted to sort of curve my title around the shape of the heart there. So I'm just using some of the tiny text stickers. My title's going to be We're All Mad Here, which is one of my favourite lines from Alice in Wonderland, and my daughter loves that one. I didn't realise how much I tap my fingers while I scrapbook until watching this video back. I really like the way the title follows the curve of the heart there. Just a bit different to what I normally do. Now trust me when I say that I tried almost every colour of those heart embellishments on the layout there, but I end up deciding just to pop a couple of the yellow ones on. And that's all it needed. Onto the journaling now, which I've typed on some white cardstock, and I just take a little bit of time to trim them down into strips to add to my layout. I like the flexibility of using strips rather than a block, because then I can overlap things and vary the lengths and that sort of thing. Again, just keeps it a bit more interesting. I'll adhere those strips down with some tape runner. I've just grabbed out a piece of scratch paper again to lay my strips on as I apply the tape runner, so my mat doesn't get all sticky. I've been caught before. I'll cover up my photo, and I end up covering up my journaling as well. I just want to add a few little flecks of black mist. I like the way that looks. And I keep on adding. I've gone through my washi tape collection now, and I just want to add a little strip of washi down the side of the photo. I just thought that side needed a couple of little embellishments to balance things out a bit. So just one little strip of washi, and then I end up adding just one photo tab there that says love. After trying lots of other ones. Yep, I settle on that one. That's looking good. I really wanted to use that arrow because the stripe just reminded me of the Cheshire Cat, but I just couldn't find the perfect place to put it, so it didn't make it, unfortunately. Now the last thing I'm going to do is to stamp the date. So I'm using the Illustrated Faith date stamp. I always do a few practices first before I pop it onto my layout. And that's all finished. I'm going to leave you with a few still shots and close-ups of my layout. For a full list of all the supplies I've used and what collections I've used, please head over to the Bella Blvd blog. I hope I've given you another idea for using the clear cuts in your scrapbooking and crafting. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you again on my next video. Bye!